it, okay, here we
Oh,
go. Cree 21 Boom is back at you with part two of Relationship Roundtable Talk. I have an exciting guest with me today. I have two men who's supposed to pop in. We'll talk about them later, but I'm gonna get them about 20 minutes to pop in. I've already sent them the link. If they don't pop in, ooh, I'm gonna talk about them. I'm gonna tag them. I'm gonna blast them, and they better not ever ask me for a favor. Cause guess what? You support people who support you. And it's really that simple. And don't be talking about you, my friend and my family, but I ask you to simply share something which is going to take at least a half a minute of your time out of your life to do, and you don't do it. I don't think we're friends. But anywho's, I'm gonna get right started with my show because the show must go on with or without you. And women, y'all always come through for me, so I appreciate Anita for being here. I'm gonna let her introduce herself. Men, get y'all shit together, okay? Be integrity. That's what one person. That's very huge. Do what you say you're gonna do. Say what you're gonna do, and then actually do it. Come through. Your word is everything. If you don't have your word, who are you? Nothing. So, Nita, go ahead and introduce yourself, darling, because we live.
okay. Well, they call me Anita Refill. Um, There's a whole story about how I got that name. But yes, so I am, like I said, we were just talking earlier. I was in a monogamous relationship recently, but I do consider myself poly and have been in, I was married for 15 years.
Wow.
Thought I was monogamous, but found out it wasn't.
Mm,
He obviously believed in being enclosed, poly, meaning closed mouths. I'm not going to tell you nothing
mm.
type
Insane.
of relationship. But I don't believe in titles or anything like that. I just believe in being open and honest and just doing what I feel, go with the flow. It
And
is.
where are you originally from?
I am born and raised in Austin, and I just moved back.
Okay.
Yes.
Austinite. All right. Okay, so you said you were married for 15 years?
Yes.
So you yourself, oh, and by the way, me either. I don't believe in titles, labels. I believe you are the author of your story. However you want to write it, you can. If you want to change it, rearrange it in whatever chapter you want to. This is the chapter of me being this. This is the chapter of me trying to be a wife. This is a chapter because everything is about our choices. That's the one thing God gave to us, our free will, so we can choose. So these people out here identifying as rocks and paper, whatever, is their choice. You can't take that away from them. Now, where the problem comes in is when they try to make it law and they want everybody else in the world to subscribe to one person's frame of thought. And that I don't agree with that. But I do agree with however you want to live your life, because it's all yours and you only get one, you should
Exactly.
do it. As long as you ain't infringing on nobody else or lying and manipulating and all that other stuff. So you chose to be in a monogamous marriage for 15 years, and you how did you like that? First of all, how was that?
Whew. Well, his representative was amazing at
Mm,
first, and it was really, really fast. So, at the time, I had two kids. He had one. Our our oldest children, were actually a day apart. So they used to call us like the Black Brady Bunch. So
mhm,
we got together. It was a whirlwind. We worked together. So we worked together. We knew each other for maybe about a year or so before we even dated. We were
mhm,
co-workers, but I was like his work wife. But we started dating after we stopped working together. And
mhm.
so we ended up getting together like Christmas Eve. By Valentine's Day, I was pregnant with our first child.
Wow.
And
Wow.
then he moved
Christmas Eve,
in.
Valentine's. Okay.
Yeah, I'm
That was
very,
quick.
yeah. So we got together and, we moved in together, got pregnant, all of that stuff. And then a year later, we got married. And then I'm sorry, yeah, maybe a little over a year, but on our 1 year anniversary, we had our second child together.
Mm.
And then, we were still together. So we were young. I was a couple of years older than him. I want to say he was about 21 when we got together. So already instant,
Okay.
you know. So by the time we were like, I was 26, 27, 4 kids already,
Wow.
you
By
know,
him or just
Mm,
together?
together. So I
Okay.
had 2 boys before him, and he had a daughter. Matter of fact, that was actually 5 kids, I guess I can't count. Because
It's okay. It's
Because
okay.
so by about 27, I was on my fifth child.
Wow, that's huge. Okay.
Well, we had 5 kids together. I had four, and then we had 5 kids together. So big family, really fast.
Hmm.
So I'm born and raised in Austin. I know a lot of people, went to a lot of schools, just know a lot of people. So I did not realize that he was jealous of me and that we were in competition with each other. I thought we were in a partnership.
Mm.
I thought we were married. I thought we loved each other. I thought it was all hunky dory, all of this. But later on in the marriage, found out that he was very verbally abusive. He ended up being physically abusive after we got separated, but he was mentally
What?
abusive. He was a narcissist. One therapist even told me he was a sociopath. Just a lot of moving parts in that whole relationship. But I never had my dad in my life. My mom was in a lot of abusive relationships, so I wanted my children to have a dad. And I had the 2 children before that, different dads, and they weren't in their lives. So I wanted my kids to have a daddy in their life. So
I
I put
understand that.
a lot of stuff. So I was like, you know what? Don't I'm not gonna get divorced. I'm gonna make this work. I'm gonna do everything. I'm not a religious person. I'm a spiritual person, but at that time I was dabbling in Christianity and Buddhism, just all kind of things, just to try to find something to make this marriage work and to stay together. And as we got further into the relationship, he just got meaner and meaner and was just so jealous because I had an education, which I even tried to. I applied for him to go to college twice, put in the applications for him, did the financial aid, the FAFSA, all of that stuff, so that he could go to school too, so that he could say nothing is holding him back. I'll watch the kids, I'll do whatever. Since I was a little bit older than him and I had been, traveling, doing a few different things. He felt like his life was just over when he was with me. And so he decided that he wanted to start dabbling and be with other women. And
Okay, hold on. Hold that thought. Hold that thought.
yeah,
Because you are going way faster
sorry,
than my brain can process.
sorry.
All right. So let's talk about the beginning again. How old were you? 26, you said?
So when we first got together, I was like 23. He was 21. I was
Okay.
20.
You were 23 and he was 21.
Yes.
And you guys knew each other a year prior.
Yes. We worked
But
together.
by December, y'all was together. And
Yes.
by February, your first child was born.
Yes.
And by y'all year anniversary, you were married with the second kid?
No. So we got married basically a year after we had the first one.
Okay,
So,
so a year after the first one, and the second one was already coming.
well, damn, I don't know how to count. It was a few months afterwards. After the first one, we got married. She was like maybe 5 months,
Okay.
and
So
then
now, did
one
you
year.
marry for love?
I
These are the questions. Okay, go ahead.
I did. I married for
Okay.
love, but I also I ain't gonna lie. I feel like I forced him to marry me. Gave him an ultimatum.
Y'all listen to this, ladies? This is why this doesn't work when we force
That
them and give them ultimatums. Go
yes,
ahead. I appreciate your honesty. And
I
what did that look
would
like? You
love.
forcing him, the ultimatum. How did that look?
So I was like, hey, I don't want to be just. And plus, his mama was in my ear too. It's better to marry than to burn.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all playing house, God don't like that. And so I was like, well, you know what? I don't want to be with you for years. And we not be married. We already live together. We already have a family. And then it was cheaper for him to be on my insurance because he was paying child support for his daughter. And we could have saved hundreds of dollars by being on my insurance. And it was just like, you know what? We're already doing this. So let's just make it legal. You love
So
me. I love you.
so back then you actually believed in titles and labels.
I
Because
did.
your past history kind of like dictates the choices. And that's what I mean about the chapters of your story. Like your past history and trying different things kind of bring you to the person that you are. We need relationships in our life so that they can mirror what's wrong with us, what we need to work on, what we need to fix, how we want to live our life, how we're going to choose to live our life moving forward. So that, you said 14 years, right?
We're 15 years.
15 years. And you never stepped out?
Oh, yes, I did. But
Okay.
it took 10 years for me
Okay,
to.
10 years. That's huge. Hey, that's a long I'm gonna tell you, I've been married twice, and neither one of them last more than 2 years. Because when it started messing up, and I try counseling, and I do everything I feel in my power that I can do to make it work, and it's still not working, I got to go. I'm not wasting, or I want to say waste, but I'm not giving anybody that much time in my life, and I'm not going to agree to be miserable for long periods of time. So
Right, which I learned after
right,
that.
and you had to learn, right? So
Yeah,
you stood in it for 10 years faithfully,
yes.
and then you decided to do what?
I decided because I'm a woman, and I love, so I have this saying already, like this has been my saying forever. If you get my booty, we go together. So, and
You do know that is a false statement you putting in your head, though. I just want you to understand that because a lot of women think because they sleeping with a man, now he belongs to her in some sense or some form of
I
fashion.
and I feel you on that, and and that's why usually that is my I guess buffer to decide who I'm gonna mess with and everything, because they some never ask the question, so what's going together? What does that mean to you? And then when they do ask that question, they find out that I don't mean a monogamous relationship and that we're just in a traditional relationship and all of that stuff. My go together is when we together, we together. Well, we not, we not. You know what I'm saying?
That's what
So,
your go together is? Wait, is that your go together now or then?
yes,
Because I know I
no,
flipped a little
now,
bit. Okay,
now,
so now,
but,
but see,
then, but
it took a few like dysfunctional type of situations for you to come to that conclusion, right? So,
yes.
within talking about your marriage still, after 10 years, you say you started pretty much stepping out. So that's where we was at. So I need you to kind of
I mean,
help
but
walk us
that
through
was
the
still
whole
my thing
situation.
then. That was still my thing then. We go together, even though I'm married and all of that stuff.
Even when you're married?
Yes, I was like, I'm your mistress, you're my mister, whatever, side dude, side chick, but we still go together too. You go with your wife and all that stuff, but you go with me too. So,
Now that's interesting.
uh, I felt like, because I love math, and so I
Uh-huh.
felt like two negatives make a positive. So I rationed with myself, since he's married and I'm married, you know, those are two negatives make a positive. So we can mess around because we both married and we're both unhappy in our marriage. And what happened was my ex-husband started letting his females get in his head and telling him, like, why are you with her? Da 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 da, putting these things in his head. So he just became really mean and just really abusive, emotionally, verbally, all of that stuff. And then he fattened me up, like maybe gained weight because he thought I was too confident, too cocky. And this is what he's told me later on, that's why he got me pregnant and all of that stuff, and was like trying to make me fat so I could lose my confidence because I was just
Hold
thinking.
on right there. Hold on right there. Hold on. So far I've been with you on this, except for the statement, if we sleep together, we go together. Now, a lot of women don't take responsibility for their role that they play in whatever situation they're in. And that's what I hear right now. You not taking responsibility because no man is going to fatten me up. I don't care how much you try to feed me. I don't care what you're doing. If I don't want to do it, I'm not going to do it.
Oh, well, you didn't let me finish. Trust me.
Okay.
I always take accountability for myself because he knew what I love. This this is what he this is I'm
See?
sorry, this is what he was telling me and why he did it.
Okay.
That I was too cocky. I thought all, the men wanted me and he wanted to take away my confidence.
But wasn't
But
he doing what he was doing?
absolutely he was. But
Hmm.
my thing is I believe in letting my man cheat in peace unless I'm gonna leave him. So I knew, I mean, if people were telling me, but I just like was turning the other cheek and all of that stuff, because at first it wasn't really affecting to me my home. It was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, he he might do whatever he do or whatever. We might break up for a little bit. He come back and all of that stuff, but he wasn't being mean to me. He wasn't, being abusive. He wasn't doing any of that stuff. So if he want to get him a little trim on the side and all that stuff, you know what? It's all good. I'm gonna take
You
care
know
of the
what?
kids.
Hold on. I love this. You know what? I love this. Him getting a little trim. I like how you said that on the side. Now, does he have to tell you about the little trim, or is it like a don't ask, don't tell policy?
It was basically don't ask, don't tell, and I just turned the other cheek because I felt like if I ever addressed the situation, then that was me condoning him cheating. If I ever said, "Hey, I don't want you doing this. I found out you're busted," and I take him back and he still does it, and I take him back and he still does it, that's just me saying, "Okay, keep on cheating. Keep on getting you some on the side." So to me. And so that's how I was thinking, like, hey, I'm gonna let you cheat in peace because I'm not going anywhere. So I'm not
And
even gonna.
when you did that, when you let him cheat in peace, did that give you some sense of peace?
Yeah, because I wasn't like asking him, hey, where you going? What's this? What's that? And then plus sometimes he would feel so guilty with cheating, like he would buy me things and stuff like that,
You like that part, huh?
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, I know you've been out cheating, but yeah, I'm gonna pretend like I don't know, and you gonna
Within
pretend
the
like
marriage, though. That's the
absolutely.
part I don't get, because when you have marriage, you have the vows, and they're
Yeah,
so traditional. It's like I'm the only woman you're supposed to be with for the rest of this marriage. It's like I don't
yeah,
even know how people do it, but
yeah.
they do it. And they kind of like put themselves in those situations where now I said this before God and my family, so now I got to uphold this. Um, did was leaving him ever an option? Like instead of joining in the cheating and accepting the cheating and making that like the normalcy of y'all dynamic?
Yeah, I didn't want my children to have a one parent household because
Mm,
I did. And so I justified it by just, okay, I'm a step out, do this, and then I felt like I couldn't leave them, like I couldn't afford, to be by
mm.
myself, and what was I going to do? What were people going to say with me getting a divorce and I have all these children? And he would always tell me that no man was going to love
Oh,
me,
they say that all the time.
that
Oh,
they would just want me sexually, but they're not going to love me. They're not going to want to be in a relationship with me. And I started believing that, like, you know what? And then he would say, I'm taking care of two kids that's not mine. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm taking care of your daughter because his daughter ended up living with us and I took care of
mm.
her. Like she was mine. So I'm like, okay, you're taking care of two kids who aren't yours. I'm taking care of a child who isn't biologically mine either. So, but
A lot of the podcasts, and not to cut you off, but a lot of the podcasts that they have nowadays are pushing that narrative. If you have kids, no man's gonna want you. Every kid is like takes away your value. But that's BS because my sister has five, was married with the five kids. The man took on five, she had more, whatever. My other sister had three, she's remarried. So
yeah.
clearly men are accepting women with children. So women, don't believe it when the man tell you because you have kids, your value just went down. They will still marry you. They still want you. And if you listen to me, I'm telling you, they need us. They wouldn't be able to survive without us. So men need women just like women need men. We need each other, period. So it doesn't really matter your kids.
And I
So,
have six, and men
ooh,
still,
child.
they still love me and they still
And they
want to
still
give me
love you and
more.
want you.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
want to take care of them.
Okay.
Or
So you and this episode is supposed to be about, the relationships, and the one, my cousin who's supposed to be on here to talk about how he went from that player to wanting to be married now to his current wife. I had a lot of questions for him, but he's not here. So the show must go on, and we have Anita here, and we're just really diving into how she kind of went from a wife mentality to a poly mentality. So just to give y'all a little feel of what we're talking about right now, so y'all won't be um,
a question.
confused about my title and what I have in my description. So Miss Anita, go ahead. Right now we're talking about the cheating part. She was okay with it. Don't ask, don't tell. I can't do that. I'm sure a lot of women can't do that. It takes a strong individual to put her kids first. I know a lot of women put their kids before their own happiness. And that sounds like what you did. You didn't want your kid to grow up in a one parent home house. But I can tell y'all this, sometimes it's better to leave a bad situation, because kids can see, they can feel the energy that is not a happy home. They are going to do what they see and not what you tell them. So you can preach all day, this is not right, don't do this, don't do that. But if they grow up in that environment, they see it, they feel it, it becomes a part of their normalcy. They are going to live the same way. And you're going to be like, didn't I teach you better? Didn't I train you? No. What they saw is what they are going to reenact. And this is a prime example. Now go ahead, darling. I got to get that
Yeah.
in. When you speak on it, I was writing it
Yes.
down and going, I can't write that fast. So so if I'm cutting you off, I apologize, but I gotta get because we really want to help somebody. When I
Yes.
bring people on this platform, is so that I can help somebody. And if I could touch one person so that they don't repeat the mistakes a lot of us made, then I did my job. And one person out of a
Absolutely.
lot. So I
That
thank you again for sharing your story, being open and completely transparent. But I can't wait to get to the poly part.
yeah.
But
So
go
that's
ahead.
that's my motto. What you
We
were saying,
yeah.
and all of that, what you said, transpired. Was my children.
Mm.
They were so happy when we broke up, and we weren't fooling them. We weren't hiding nothing. They didn't really know about the cheating stuff until we broke up, and he alienated them and manipulated them and told them that I cheated on him. But
Mm.
he never admitted to his wrongdoing. But I'm one that I don't mind taking accountability, and I don't mind somebody questioning me and calling me out and challenging me. Like, hey, and I will look at it and be like, okay, you know what? I didn't see it that way. Maybe you're right. I'm very open, and I'm not just closed. Like, okay, this is my way or the highway. What I think is right. And like I said, I just learned a lot from the relationship, but I did get into all of the relationships because I did get into a few relationships. The relationships that I did have were all love. Like, I just can't have sex with somebody with no emotion. Like, I love you. You get my booty? Yeah, I love you.
Now
And
let's talk. Can we talk about that for a second? Because I don't agree with that. I think that I believe that a woman can have sex with a man when there are no emotions attached. Now, if you can yourself be married, allow your husband to go out and do what he do, don't ask, don't tell, and then you yourself can step out with other men and then come back, and I'm sure you and your husband were still engaging, and it didn't conflict with your moral compass. This is what tells me that a woman can actually do some of the things men can do and not bother her mentally or emotionally. So if you were able to still be with your husband, allow your husband to step out and come back, and don't change who you are. Go out and be with other men and come back and be with your husband, and don't allow it to change you in any form of fashion, meaning you can still operate as wife, mother. If you can still operate, then you can clearly have relationships outside of your marriage, and don't, because the emotion part, here's what I mean when I say that. So the emotion part is, it comes into play where if you're saying I can't have sex with this person without being emotionally attached, your emotions are going to feel they're going to shift if you feel some type of way. Like, it's going to shift. I know my husband was out fucking somebody, so now I don't want him to touch me. You're going to shift. And that is something you can't control. So this is why women act the way they do when a man cheat because their emotions are affected. I can't believe he did that to me. What's wrong with me? Why am I not? We automatically take it in and make it interpersonal, and our energy shift. You did it, and your energy didn't shift. You are clearly capable of having relations outside and not being attached to that person. You
I was
might
attached.
not know that, but it's true.
I'm said I was attached. Like I loved both of them, and when I
You
was,
love both of them?
yes,
That's
girl,
possible.
I'm complex. I'm complex.
That's possible.
And during the times that I was with them, I really wasn't with my husband. Like we weren't intimate. We weren't having sex. I don't know if I can cuss on here or not,
Mm.
Taylor. Is cussing allowed on here?
Girl, say what you
Okay.
must. I am so in tune.
Okay.
This is
So
unfiltered, baby. Speak
okay.
your truth. It is
So I mean,
yours.
we wasn't fucking, and like I was fucking other dudes, but I wasn't really fucking my husband. It wasn't like
Oh my God.
every now and again we would, but it was just like we were just living together. We were just going through the motions, and
Mm.
he was so busy fucking them other women and doing whatever, getting turned out by them, that he wasn't even
Mm.
really worried sometimes about having sex with me. But I didn't want to have sex with him sometimes. But I was, anytime, um, most of the time when I have sex with somebody, I am emotionally attached to them. I have feelings for them. I care about them. It's not just, and I'm not saying that I never had one night stands and things like that, because I have, but for the most part, I love you and we go together,
Love
It
that.
is.
I love that. So those one night stands though, like how did that work?
I mean, I was young, in college and all of that stuff, still exploring and not really knowing much, and I really didn't even enjoy sex at first. So, like, I was going to school to be a sex therapist and all of that stuff. They called me the
Mm.
Dr. Ruth because I'm all into sex and teaching women how to enjoy themselves and how to please themselves because
Ooh, I
of
like it.
all of these past traumas that we've had, and a lot of, especially Black women, not being able to enjoy sex and it being so taboo and all of that. So it was just like, it was what it was. But I mean, and I've been in a lot of therapy. Oh my God, I've had so
We
much
need
therapy.
it, friends. We need it. We need
Yes.
that
So
therapy.
at that
Oh,
time, I didn't realize, how much I didn't love myself, and just to be, having these one night stands, not even really enjoying myself or anything like that, but just feeling like, hey, that's what I do. I'm young. I'm out here, living my
hold
best life.
on that thought. On that thought. I can't ever recall a one night stand. However, I have dealt with guys that I was not emotionally attached to physically. And if I never saw him again afterwards, I was completely fine. So that alone tells me I'm capable of having sex without the emotions attached. Despite what men say, I've experienced it.
Yeah, I
Uh,
have, I have too.
yeah,
But they
but
tell you,
but
no, when you,
countless times of having sex with the same person, that's a deeper connection that you have no control over because now that soul tie is being formed, and then you build on it. The more you have sex with that person, you build on it. But the point I wanted to make before you moved on, as far as not loving yourself and seeking the attention from a man, just wanting to feel needed or wanted. It's a lot of women out here who are putting up with a lot of stuff, and men. I don't really know a lot of men that's doing that, but I know for a fact a lot of women that are putting up with things from a man because they just want to feel needed, accepted, or wanted. That affection, especially when they haven't had the father figure to give them that. I don't want to say a father because you can have a father figure from a stepfather, or uncle, or whatever, that's not looking at them like a piece of meat, because we know even in your family they'll look at you as such. It's
yeah,
disgusting. So, my point is, women, if you are, let me say this too. It is so many women having sex with men and building their heads up as if it's all great. They satisfy, and then the woman didn't even have an orgasm. They just literally pumping these men head up as if they are doing the most in the bed. And they're not. Like, y'all not. Like, whoever
Yes,
is telling y'all this stuff, I'm gonna need y'all to go talk to somebody who keeps it real all the time, sleep with them, and then get a real evaluation of what you like in bed. Because a woman that just wants to sleep with you and lay with you, and you can ignore her calls, you can ignore her texts, and she's still trying to get with you, that woman is not gonna be honest with you. That woman just wants you for whatever reason. I'm telling you, for whatever reason. You want a person that's going to be honest with themselves and then you. And so you can move according to that. Because there's so many men out here, girl, who head is so big. And I swear they can just look like the bottom of my shoe. Like, really? No,
yeah,
I'm sure it's not all that. And then there's some men who head are big and they look really good. But in bed, it's like, it ain't it. It's just not it. So women, y'all don't got to deal with that. I'm telling you. She was just telling Anita was telling you, if you learn how to please yourself, it's so possible. I'm telling you.
yes.
It's so
There's so
amazing.
many
And
types.
it's safe sex. It's safe sex. Like you ain't gotta worry about him spending the night, eating your food up, drinking your kid juices and stuff. Like you get it done and you're happy, you're satisfied, can sleep a good 8, 10, 12 hours, girl. Do
Absolutely.
it. Now go ahead. I just had to get that out because there's so many out here just thinking they the bomb, and it's like you bombed,
Yes.
all right. You bombed out.
There's so many different types of orgasms that they can have.
Mm.
Oh my goodness. So I
Mm.
traumatized my 18-year-old daughter day right before the show, y'all. Because like I told you, I'm all about sex and educating folks. And
Uh-huh.
I don't really know how to use TikTok, but apparently I have one damn TikTok out there and it's A spot. And how to find your A spot. And now my child
There's
know
an
how
A spot. It's not G. There's an
there,
A spot. Can we
there's a
talk
G.
about the A spot for a minute? Because I might need to take some notes down. Go ahead and talk about the A spot real quick. Then we'll get back to your story.
The A spot is like it's supposed to be like in front of the G spot. It's not as far back as the G spot, but there's the A spot, like basically that's in front, but you can pretty much
Taking
find it.
notes.
Um, like you find, the G spot, and they have like certain toys that you can use.
There's a J spot too?
No, I said the
Oh,
somebody
the
said
G
a G
spot.
spot. Oh,
Okay.
G, yeah, the G spot. So you could pretty much find that, but it's a different type of orgasm that you have. Like each spot, gives you a different type of orgasm. And so I was talking about that on this TikTok apparently and just traumatized my child today. So, but I'm all about, like educating and learning the different ways because I know some women don't even know how to have an orgasm. They've never had an orgasm. I was talking to my friend and she was like, I saw this TikTok and it said there's 13 different orgasms. So I was like, yes, you never had.
13
And she
different.
was like, which one? I was like, okay, like when you kissing somebody. And she was like, hell no. I'm like, when they sucking your teeth and, and she was like, no. I'm like, well, and I'm going through, I'm like, so you never just like had a massage, where like they're touching you. And she's like, hell no. I'm like, okay, so what about exercise? Getting a good workout? And she was like, no. I'm like, thought about something, you're like, oh shit. Like, she was like, I fucking hate you. Like, hell no, I ain't none of those. I was like, you are so deprived. Like, you haven't. I'm like, okay, her requirement was for guys to suck her toes. So,
Oh, toe sucking. Ain't nothing
right.
wrong with toe sucking action.
I said, so I know you got to, or she was like, no, that was just a form of control and stuff. And no, I'm like, oh my God. So you just not enjoying anything. I'm like, so I was like, so you never had like multiple, like, where you haven't they're doing your clit and then, you getting penetration and you having a vaginal one, they sucking your titties, you do this, or like even the anal one, any of that stuff. And she's like, no, I haven't had any of that. And I was like, oh my God. So it's crazy with being
Oh my
my
God.
my mission in life is to make sure every woman I know has at least one type of orgasm because it's so important and they need that and they need to enjoy themselves. So and so
Uh,
I teach them that. And I was like, well, I know you had an orgasm from sucking somebody dick before, like you just all in it. And she's like, girl, stop talking to me. So I'm just like, oh
I
my.
ain't never experienced that one, darling.
Oh, okay.
Mm-mm. I'm learning something today. Rico said the better the sex, the crazier the woman becomes. You ever experienced that with a man?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's how one of the reasons how I got my name Anita Refill, you know.
I'ma need a
So
refill.
Cancer, and I am very sensual. I'm a pleaser. And I can be very submissive. I can be dominant. I can be whatever, give and take. I'm an empath, and I'm very intuitive. So it's very rare that I have a horrible sexual experience with someone because I'm so in tune with them. And I love to talk about it, what you like, what you don't like. Do you like to experiment? What is this? What is that? You know what I'm saying? So I like for them to um tell me. And then sometimes I'm like, we say you don't like this. This motherfucker don't know he gonna like it because I'm gonna try it on him and he don't even know that it, but he gonna like it. And so I am all about pleasing my partner, but I'm also gonna be pleased as well. And I'm gonna tell him what I like and everything. But I definitely like to talk about it and to explore and to touch. And I love kissing, I love massaging, I love just exploring each other's bodies and things like that. And if you can't do that, then I'm really not interested in, and most of the time it just turns me off with your conversation. It's like, okay, you just talking about fucking and that's it. Like, nah, I'm on a whole nother
Hey,
level.
Rico said you're a squirter.
I am, and I cream and all of that. I've taught
Philip
and
said, "What's the difference between G spot and A spot?"
like I said, the G spot is a little deeper in the vagina, and like you do like that come hither motion, like to reach into the A spot is a little closer up than the G spot.
Oh, where did she go?
Sorry, am I still there?
Oh, I don't see her face. It's like completely dark.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Go out and come back in. I don't know, folks. We are having technical difficulties, but I definitely need her to come back in with her story because her story is a very interesting story. Oh my God, where are you? She has the backwards. What is he talking about? I don't know, but we are having technical difficulties, and I need her to come back on the show. My guys can't get in. I don't know where they are. Anita, where are you? I learned something new today, friends. And
I'm
there she
sorry,
is.
y'all.
She's
I
back.
I I I forgot to put my phone on. Do not disturb.
Oh, okay. I'm just glad you're back.
Yes. Sorry, guys.
Rico said you have the backwards. I don't know what he means by that. You have the backwards. She
Oh,
has the back.
oh, he said I have it backwards. Maybe the A spot is further than the G spot.
Oh, Philip said you are so raw. She is so raw.
That's what he said.
Oh, now let me ask you this: when you were dealing with these different guys and stuff, did you use a condom?
No, it depends. Back in the day, yes, but now I don't have a lot of multiple partners. But
Okay.
no,
So
we
where
be
we are
raw
now in your story, as far as I know, we talked about you stepping out, he stepping out. When did you get to the point where enough is enough and I want out of this marriage?
because I was miserable. Um, I heard echo. I'm not sure. Can you hear echo too?
No.
Okay. I just hated being at home. I would come home and I would sit in the car for a couple of hours and just cry. I was like, I don't want to come in here. I don't want him touching me. I don't like him. I don't like who I've become. The
Oh, I
children are
do hear an
miserable.
echo or
Everybody's
something.
miserable.
Is it on your phone too?
I think so.
Are you using your
But
phone or are you on the
I think
tablet?
that's, I'm using my phone.
Mm,
My laptop is broken. I apologize.
okay. Philip said, "Is it possible for a woman or a man to be with just one partner all their life? If that's your choice, I
Yeah.
think it's one of the most difficult things to ever do. Like to just say, this is my person forever. I'm not going to ever be with another person because we get bored. We get bored. You get tired of doing different things with the same person. I personally like to interact with different
Oh,
people all the time. Like I like to hear how people think. And if you already know how your person think, who you going to talk to?
hello.
And it's only male and female in the world. It's absurd to think that you can literally be with one person all your life. I think that that's why when you of a certain age, then you should get married because now she left again. Where did she go? Oh, there she is.
Okay, I'm here.
I forgot my point, but what do you think?
About
You think it's possible for a woman
being
and man to be
monogamous.
with just one partner all their life?
I don't think that we're monogamous creatures.
I
I
don't
think
either.
that we
That's a
have like
European thing.
parts of monogamy.
Yeah, that's a European thing. Marriage, I always
Actually.
say this, marriage was made by men for men. Rico said, wait, he said most women can only be attached to one man at a time.
Not
There may
me.
be some validity in that, Rico, but sometimes I think maybe it could be two men. At a time. They can be attached to two men. Three, I don't
Sometimes.
know. Three might be a little bit too much for me, but two for sure. I've tried two and it worked out just fine until one of them messed it up. So
That's why I had to have
I think
three.
at least two. Yeah, but she said three, so she could juggle three. I was trying to get my cousin on. He was juggling six women at a time. So I was very interested in how that dynamic worked, but he's having technical difficulties, so he still ain't been able to get in yet. So we'll just listen to Anita. Go ahead, girl. Where you at now with the story? You was too
Why?
miserable, and this happens to a lot of women too. They wait to the point where they physically, because when you're dealing with pain, especially emotional stress, physically it starts to show on your face, your body. You just become so weary and tired. You always crying. You're never happy. You stay sad. And that's another reason you shouldn't stay in those type of situations because kids see that. They feel that. They pick up on that. So you decided to lead a marriage. And is that when you started exploring poly?
Well, I was exploring it in my marriage.
Well, I mean,
Just
it's not
we was
really
just, yeah, but
exploring it
yeah,
if it's not
yeah,
honest, right? Is
yeah.
it?
No,
Is
I'm just
it?
saying.
Oh, okay, okay,
But
okay.
that's where it became like a thought for me. Like if I could do this and I love more than one person at a time, then I think I could be poly. I was always open minded and
Mm.
always was researching about different lifestyles. So
Donovan said, "Can you really love multiple people though?"
I can. I don't know about other people, but I can and love them with all my.
Um, my thoughts on that is this, where it kind of goes back to what Rico said, you only attach to one person time. I believe you can love multiple people, but I believe there is always a favorite. I believe there's always going to be one that's feeling a little slighted, and then there's one that is favored amongst the people that you love. So I believe you can love them all, but one is going to always feel slighted, and then another one is going to feel like there you go to. They call you happy, anxious to answer and respond to them. The other one calls like, but if the other one is not available, you happy to speak to them too. So you can love them, but you're always going to put one over the other one. I kind of believe that's the type of dynamic with the loving multiple people, but you definitely can love multiple people.
Yeah.
Um, Philip said, oh, if I can get it on there. I believe that it's not truly possible to love several partners simultaneously or with equal intensity. Well, that's kind of short of what I said. Not equal intensity. Fallon, he wants to join the show. You absolutely can. Where did you go, friend?
Yes.
Did I
I
get that in
I
there?
agree that you may not be able to love them equally, but I love I feel hard. I love them all my heart.
Yeah, because what is love? If you can, so people always, and I guess they mean romantic love. But when you think about romance or romantic love, it's just a matter of romancing more than one person. If you can love multiple children, you can love multiple family members, you can love multiple friends. Why can't you love multiple romantic partners? Just think about it logically. Logically, if you can love in a multitude in any other dynamic, you can love in it, but we have been so brainwashed to believe that that type of love is only subjected to one person, and that is
Yeah.
not realistically thinking. It's definitely not logically thinking, because if you're thinking logically, I have 3 kids. You're not going to say I love one of my kids more than the other one, although everyone has a favorite, and that's
Yes.
usually the one you bond to the most and don't give you the most headache, but you love them equally. The same concept for romantic partners, because I can be with 2 guys, I can be with one 12 years, and one come along and within a year treats me with such respect, treats me loyal, kind. I'm going to love that person. That's what love is. Respect me, treat me good. Like, it's inevitable to love somebody who you obviously are attracted to and want that type of energy with.
And
Um, Go
I feel
ahead.
like love I feel like a lot of people's different definition of love is not love. It's attachment, it's lust, very healthy. And I feel that love doesn't hurt. Love is kind, respect, you know, things like that. And you're not obsessed with the person. And I don't feel that that's love.
I'm laughing because Uchi Wally said you not making sense. I don't know if he's probably was talking about me though, not you. KL Young said, "Is love more mental or physical?" I would absolutely say mental. Uh, what do you think? You think it's more mental or physical?
I think it's more mental. Absolutely.
Chauncey Taylor says, "I don't think that it's love. It's preferably the emotions of feelings." Okay.
I just feel like it's something that you really can't describe, has its own definition. I feel like we're just so brainwashed and people are so quick to judge folks and say, hey, this, that you can't do this. You don't know who the fuck I am, what the fuck I can do. Like, if you can't do it,
Absolutely.
that is great. And I applaud you for whatever you want to do. What you're not going to do is judge me, make me feel bad for how my life, because I got to live.
Um, Go ahead and finish telling us about the story. I'm trying to see if I can get this guy to join the live. He's trying to join the live right now. Phelan,
So, yeah,
is
we
it?
ended up just getting, I ended up in a relationship because it was so toxic for everybody involved. Things were not better. Therapy wasn't working, praying wasn't working, none of that. And the children were miserable too. And they were happy when we finally got divorced. And they
Mm.
saw all of the unhealthiness and they struggle with having healthy relationships themselves because of the experience.
Friend, I'm trying. Hold on. All right. Are you? Hold on. Okay, here I go. I just sent him the link, so we'll see if he able to join the show. Uh, okay. All right. I'd like to hear the beginning of your poly lifestyle. What was like your first experience?
So my experience was with an ex, and was a truck driver, and he was not a lot, which I am in truck.
So it's
Truck.
something with your voice right now that's it's like cutting on and off.
Oh,
Um,
are you able to hear me now?
yeah, but you're kind of like breaking, going on in and out.
Okay, that's what I thought too. Hold on.
All right, she's fixing her. Fallon McKnight, I sent you the link. So if you want to get in there, um, go on and chime in with me. We're trying to fix the going in and out. I was talking to you. I'm trying to get in. Yeah, I can hear you.
Is that better?
Yes, it's better. It's a lot better. Also, he said he was talking to me. I'm not sure what he was talking about though. I didn't move past it. He said I wasn't making sense. Um,
He probably was talking about me.
my cousin said love is a choice. I absolutely believe love is a choice. I believe you choose who you want to invest your time, your energy, your body, all these things in. Um, Philip said, so many. For some women, love is expressed through physical connection. Obviously, if you make the body feel good, it's going to send signals to the mind and vice versa. If you stimulate the mind, it's going to send signals to the body. So I've had intelligent conversations with men and got turned on. So it's all in your brain, it's all mental. But obviously, if there's a physical connection, which is clearly the first thing that we address when we meet people,
Yeah.
because we can look at somebody and be like, he can get it. So where that come from? That's that physical, which is usually temporary. So the physical is usually a temporary thing, but once you get the mind, the body will follow. And that's my opinion on that.
Now I'm a sapiosexual. So,
Ha ha, a choice. Sorry answers. Ha ha, wrong. Who are y'all? Who is this person? What is happening here? KL, I had this is roundtable talk where we just talk about relationships and how they operate, male and female. My male did not come in. So I'm talking to Miss Anita, and she is expressing her life and trials and tribulations of how she went from a marriage mindset to now a poly mindset, aka I don't do labels mindset. However I choose to be in any given day is how I'm going to live my life, regardless of what other people think or say. And that's literally how we all should be living. But it's already a chaos world, so who knows? Philip said, engaging the mind nurtures both intellect and spirit. I agree. KL Young said, touch, holding hands, and hugging. What about
yeah,
it?
because he said physical is not always sexual. And
Oh, okay. Right, right. True, 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 true.
Anthony, you know I'm not interested
Anthony
in women. Don't
said,
talk
Anita, are
about
you
all that
interested
shit. You
in
know
women?
I don't.
Where'd you go? I'm saying I've been having these technical difficulties all day with this. Okay, here she's back. Oh, I can't hear you. Speak. You good? Now your voice is distorted again.
Yes.
The universe don't want us to be great right now, and this is such an amazing story. I can't hear you. She'll get back when she get that fixed up. Usually when one is speaking the truth, the universe and everybody else likes to fight against it. So just give her a minute. Hopefully she'll be back. We'll be sure to answer your question, Anthony. Um, if I can get a man to jump in on here, we might be all right. Oh, there she is. She's back.
If I'm ever invited back on your show again, I will make sure that I have my laptop.
You will absolutely be back on my show, darling, because I love you. We need more women that are open and willing and honest, but I'm not sure why honesty is so taboo these days. People are so concerned with other people's feelings and stepping on them and hurting them and all this and that. But I'd rather somebody be their authentic self. Like
Like
that
shit.
should be the goal. Strive to be who you authentically are because then you'll live in your real truth, not somebody else's truth, not society's truth, not the truth that was embedded in you when you were a child. It would be your truth as an adult. Anthony wants to know: are you interested in women?
Hey, Anthony knows the answer to that question. That's why it's so funny to me. But I will answer it. I am not interested in women. I have never been attracted to women, but I don't judge those who are. I just love men, and it is
Mhm.
what it is. I mean, I've been approached by a lot of women and asked to be in threesomes and onesomes and all of that, but I'm just not attracted to women.
And that's okay. Uchi Wally said, "What truth?" Well, obviously, this is Cree 21 Boom podcast, so it's my truth. Like, you don't have to accept it, you don't have to like it, you can judge it. I don't care. And this is what
I
I
feel
mean
that
about living
Uchiwali
in
is
your truth.
trolling.
Huh?
I said, I
He's
feel
trolling.
that Uchiwali is trolling.
I don't care. Troll along. I don't care. And that's the thing. People are going to judge you regardless. You can be doing right or wrong in their eyes. They're going to judge you regardless. And if you don't really care and don't let it rock your emotions one way or the other, who cares? KL wants to know: do you believe the man is the head in the relationship?
Um, you know, I believe that it really depends on and what you even say what the head really means because people have different definitions of that. I definitely enjoy being submissive, but that does not mean that I don't have an opinion and that I listen to whatever a man tells me and that whatever he says goes. But I'm easygoing and I don't mind letting a man lead, you know, and as long as he's not leading me somewhere crazy, I'll follow.
Okay, let me give you my take on that. This is more coming from the spiritual context of man being the head of a relationship because it's God, man, woman, children, everyone else. So obviously, the people that have that spiritual mindset believe in that hierarchy. Now, if you are a woman who take care of yourself, who's always taking care of yourself, allowed a man to come in and you perceive him as the head, basically because he took on that role, took it away from you. Now you no longer have that role and the responsibilities of governing your household, then absolutely I'll let that man lead me. Okay. But if he comes in my house and lays on my couch and doesn't want to do anything and wants to be served, you ain't leading me nowhere but backwards. And if I'm not going forward with you, don't want to be a part of that. And there are a lot of men out there who will come in if you let them, women, lay on your couch, eat your food, drink your kid juices, and want to be ahead of your household and ain't leading nothing and ain't leading nobody, not a
Homosexual.
prominent figure in his community, let alone your house. Don't allow that to happen. There's a word for that. Don't do it. And they call hobos. Don't do it. They out here. They exist. And they will let you take care of
Homosexuals.
them women. Don't do it. So when you talk about head, if you come correct, you're gonna take weight off of me. We're gonna make each other better. You're gonna lead me properly. You know where you going. You know your purpose in life. You helping me obtain my purpose, then you can lead somebody somewhere. Until then, though, keep trying to figure it out.
I agree.
KL Young want to know: are you biblical?
No.
Okay.
If he's asking me, no. I'm
I'm not quite sure, and I think this is in response to what I said. KL said he is still a man regardless. That's your opinion. Just because you have male genitalia parts, like a male parts, does not mean you're a man. That means you're a male. So when I think about male and female, we're born. We can't change these. These are you can't change that. But a man, I would see, I will look up, even if we're the same height, I will look up to him because he has shown and proven that I can take care of myself. I'm living in my purpose. I am responsible adult. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that people don't fall on hard times. Some people don't make bad choices. You know, that does not take away from your manhood. Uh, but if you operate as such, and it's what's understood don't need to be explained, because your presence alone, women will be able to look at you, and other men will look at you and be like, that's a man right there, that's somebody I'm aspiring to be like. And you'll know by your group and your circle of people. So just being a male does not make you a man in my book, if you understand what I'm saying. He said, I'm talking about a husband, not your boyfriend or your man. Oh, so she's saying, he's asking about, like, do you believe your husband was the head? Uh,
In my marriage, no,
yeah.
he was not. I was the head. I took care of him, and it was crazy to think that and without no, I was the head of the relationship, which is another reason why.
Um, KL Young says society says once he reaches a certain age, he is in fact a man by definition, ma'am. I agree with you, but I also disagree with the male versus man. Okay, it's an unsolved mystery. That's what we'll call it. Because to me, a man operates as a man should, not a male. And that's just me. I'm one person in the universe. We
I
don't
agree with
argue
I see
opinions, do
the
we?
same thing.
Do we argue opinions? I don't. Anthony said you're still going in and out. I hear you clearly, so I'm not sure. Um, I know where we left off at though. Where you were talking about your first poly experience, and I didn't get you because you kept cutting off.
Yeah. So my first poly experience was with an ex that high
Oh,
school.
you are breaking up. Hold on.
Can you hear me now?
Yeesh. What is going on with the internet?
Okay.
Oh my God. Hold on, friend.
Mm,
Chrome. Oh, so I have somebody else trying to get in, but they saying it's just spinning around in circles. I think you have to have the Chrome browsing. Um, KL said that was the problem. How or why were you designated as the head?
I just took on that role and he let me and I did. I don't know if y'all can hear me. I'm still cutting out.
You're still going in and out a little bit. I wish it wasn't happening, but it's definitely happening. Um, she said, in case you didn't hear her, he allowed her to take on as the head. She was doing everything and he allowed it, because you can't do nothing to an individual unless they allow it to happen. So a lot of women would be more than happy to let a man come in and do what they need to do. But when you're not doing it, it still has to get done. And I don't know the last time I could call my mortgage people and be like, I love you, and it's gonna get the mortgage paid. Love alone is not gonna get it paid. So somebody got to get up off their butt and make things happen. Are you like disagreeing that because she did it, that she's not the head? She got up and took care of everything. Does that not make her the head of her household? What did he do? How did him allowing you to do it look? How did that look?
So basically, I worked 2 to 3 jobs. Everything was in my name. I paid all the bills. He would buy groceries if I needed. He made bought the kids some clothes. post here and there if needed. I always suggest
Yeah, you
taking
still
care.
going in and out, friend.
Sorry.
Damn. KL Young said, no, ma'am, then he was your son then. Did he just say that? Oh my God.
Yeah,
Well, okay then. So if it's her son, who's the head? Why they blame the woman because the woman is not allowing herself to fail because she has a man that doesn't want to step up. In other words, they're saying make a better choice with the men that you deal with. Mm.
and I did.
What I'm going to do, what I'm going to have to do, friend, because I can't get my men on the show. They're trying, but whatever reason they buffering. Your voice keeps going out. We have a lot of issues here. I'm going to try to reschedule the relationship roundtable talk again later on this week. Hopefully, I can get the men in here. Hopefully, we can finish up this. This will just be part two of part three coming up.
Yeah.
However, I do appreciate you. I do appreciate everybody watching. I appreciate the questions, the comments, the gripes, the complaints, whatever. I appreciate all that. We are definitely going to have you back. We didn't even touch on the poly as much as I wanted to, but the voice thing is people are complaining in the comments and stuff too. I just want it to be right. So thank you again for joining the podcast today. I really appreciate you coming. You definitely have a very interesting story and intake. I love how you think. I love the fact that you are your authentic self and you don't let nobody sway you one way or the other. I appreciate that. It's not enough women out here living in a truth. And if they are, they don't want to talk about it live for sure. And I don't have no issues doing it. So you are definitely going to be one of those people that I'm going to hit up to come back because I want to hear some truth. I don't want to hear no BS and sugarcoat and stuff like that. So any final remarks from you? Whatever we're going to hear, we're going to listen to.
Just thank you, and I will have a better connection next time.
All right. Cree 2-1 Boom is out. And y'all remember to stay sucker free like Cree, as always. Bye.
Bye.